In this WrestleTalk news, Tony Khan doubles down on the anti-AEW bots being a real thing, Kevin Nash is involved in a Hollywood lawsuit, Ollie's review of AEW Dynamite, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos, because it's AEW Forbidden Door confirmed. A joke that I made when the whole Forbidden Door thing began and was 100% a joke, and now it's real. Wild.
Support WrestleTalk!
Tony Khan made another huge announcement on last night's episode of Dynamite, introducing the AEW New Japan crossover show called AEW Forbidden Door. But TK was also making headlines for more talk on anti-AEW bots, so hang on, let me just get appropriately dressed here. There we go. TK has recently clarified what he meant about the whole bot situation, where he claimed that there was a staunch anti-AEW online community that was boosted by a wildly expensive army of bots. Now, who would do such a thing, Speaking to TV Insider, Khan spoke more on the situation, saying, "There are a handful of accounts that are being run by a few people running a lot of accounts. Those are real people. A lot of their engagement, their retweets, likes, people responding, and signal boosting for what they are saying, those are bots. I'm not making this up. I have hired IT experts to put together a much more sophisticated explanation than I'm capable of giving. It's a real thing, or I wouldn't have brought it up. I have a pretty good reputation in this business for honesty." He is very honest, so maybe we should trust him, or maybe this is all part of his elaborate plan to overthrow the wrestling business and hoodwink each and every one of... Anyway, it might be helpful to see this data from the IT experts themselves, as that might help TK's case and stop people, having a bit of a laugh at it instead. Sticking with TK for now, and after last night's AEW Dynamite, but prior to the Rampage taping, Khan came out to the audience to address the crowd, and told them that they would be recorded for use in their upcoming AEW video game. They were then recorded doing such chants as FTR, Aubrey Edwards, Cash, Dax, We Want Jeff, Sting, Boom, Payday, and Adam Page, according to Fightful. But TK also mentioned what the console game will be called: AEW Fight Forever. A release date is still yet to be revealed, though current speculation puts it at September this year. With an All Out around that time as well, with that being AEW's current biggest show of the year, that would seem like a good time to promote it. But now we transition into something decidedly less fun, as yesterday on Twitter, Kevin Nash was trending due to the ongoing Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation lawsuit. If you weren't aware, actor Johnny Depp is suing his ex-wife Amber Heard over an opinion piece Heard wrote in 2018 about alleged abuse she suffered at the hands of Depp. In court this week, text messages were brought up surrounding a rap party for Magic Mike, which Heard attended, with Depp expressing his displeasure that she was out all night. A photo from that rap party has now been making the rounds again on Twitter, with Heard hanging out with none other than WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash. And to clarify as well, as some people have been speculating on social media, there has never been any evidence to suggest that Nash and Heard are anything more than friends. Whether Nash will be more involved in the ongoing case because of this photo or not remains to be seen. And now, hot tag to Ollie.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Manscaped, where you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping by going to manscaped.com/WTTV now. And they don't just shave balls, they save balls. It says it on my t-shirt. Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to spread awareness, because the most common form of cancer amongst men aged 15 to 35 is testicular cancer. You can perform simple routine self-checks at home while enjoying your Manscaped products. I, in particular, recommend the Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer with skin-safe technology. Mwah! Spit on my gooch. Otherwise, for me, it's like trying to search for a berry in a densely leafed hedge. And their Crop Mop Ball Wipes, which keep things wonderfully refreshed, which is vital in the approaching summer. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer to help save lives and balls. And also visit manscaped.com/WTTV, where you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping. Join the Manscaped movement, and don't forget to take care of your pair. Ball those balls. Now it's time for my review of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. WrestleTalk is lucky enough to count one of the kindest men we've ever had the opportunity to meet amongst our community. The Mayor of Painesville, Dan. But don't let that nickname fool you. He's an absolute sweetheart, and we're proud to call him a fan. His favourite wrestler of all time is Dustin Rhodes, so it was uniquely pleasurable to watch my favourite wrestler, CM Punk, crush him in this opening contest. Rhodes and Punk had a terrific psychologically rooted wrestling match where both men sold their legs. Dustin got a great near fall off a crossroads. Silly Dustin, you need at least 9 crossroads to beat someone these days. And when Punk couldn't hit the GTS, he locked in a technical pin to win instead. Both men had a heartwarming show of respect after the match, but Punk's other stare down was far more significant, as Hangman Page, fresh off his Adam Cole feud climax last Friday, went face to face with Punk on the ramp, finally starting their long-teased World Championship storyline. But even more significant than that was a fan holding up a picture of me in the front row. I was almost as close to Punk as Page was. Maybe that means I'm being set up to face Punk after he wins the title. The best thing in wrestling right now, other than Andy Datson, was the Blackpool Combat Club, who continued their very toxic hazing process in a trios match against 3 promising young wrestlers, Dante Martin, Brock Anderson, and Lee Moriarty. The rookies all looked good, but they were ultimately easily beaten by Danielson Moxley and a far more violent-looking Yuta. The most confusing thing here, though, was that the Combat Club stood in the wrong opposite tag corners to normal. It really threw me more than that should have. Adam Cole, baby, was trying to rally the Undisputed Elite backstage after their series of recent losses, setting up a 10-man tag for them all next week. The Young Bucks seemed pretty dejected though, as Cole explained to them all their other friends are gone. It's just these guys that are left, which is surely building to a Kenny Omega return. A return that will be very much complicated by a larger faction union in AEW. Tony Khan's big announcement was introducing the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh god damn it, don't buy New Japan too! Thankfully, no. And in an even smarter move, they let the bulk of this corporate relationship promo work be cut by actual wrestlers, mainly Adam Cole, Bebe, and his Bullet Club bestie, Jay White, where they announced a Super Show crossover event called Forbidden Door on the 26th of June in Chicago, which has typically been the annual date of AEW's other special, Fyter Fest. Cole revealed he'll be facing Ishii in an Owen Hart tournament qualifying match this Friday on Rampage, while White turned up in the arena to say it's not about AEW or New Japan, it's about the Undisputed Elite and the Bullet Club, because it's still their era. I'm happy for you, Adam Cole, but all my heart wants is Ishii versus the Butcher. Oh, Butcher. He looks like Dr. Robotnik on crack. In a rare treat, we got Butcher in a singles match, taking on Wardlow as MJF's hired hitman, who was watching from a private box and pouring popcorn over fans. Part of the legal agreement was that Wardlow couldn't come out with music, and he'd be handcuffed the entire time he wasn't in the ring. This created the awesome intended effect of the crowd chanting his name instead. Wardlow won relatively easily, hitting 4 powerbombs to win. MJF then revealed his next opponent, the far more challenging Lance Archer, where Jake the Snake and MJF briefly shared the screen in a passing of the great promo torch moment. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Barbaric, Garrick Morgan, and he can last Sean for longer than you in the ring. You can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where you'll also get to see Andy Datson host Fan QuizzleMania today. There are so many dream matches yet to be done in AEW that sometimes you forget about those in plain sight, like Kyle O'Reilly versus Jungle Boy, which we got right here in an Owen Hart tournament qualifying match. Their styles complemented each other perfectly, with a lot of counter wrestling and Kyle trying to lock in an armbar in every possible way, all fueled with the last 6 months of their respective factions' blood feuding. Kyle won the very well-worked match, setting up Cole's promise that a member of the Undisputed Elite will win the cup, while Christian helped Jungle Boy backstage in an understanding, fatherly way. He is so turning on him. One of the naturally coolest wrestlers in years, Hook, then made his Dynamite debut, easily beating Anthony Henry, despite Mark Sterling and Tony Nese making notes in the crowd and Danhausen attempting to curse him. Hook has like 4 feuds going on at any given time. That's the mark of a great character. Stymied yet again, Danhausen jumped in the ring after the match and said if Hook doesn't want to be cursed by him, he'll have to fight him. The idea of Danhausen returning from injury got a huge pop from the crowd, but the real awesomeness is in how cool Hook looks in this shot. Look at him, just giving the camera a glance that says, "What is this comedy bullshit?" let me hurt somebody. Sammy Guevara's heel turn at Saturday's Battle of the Belts had the surprising consequence of turning American top team face. Scorpio Sky made up with Kaz backstage, and then him, Ethan Page and Dan Lambert were roundly cheered against Guevara and Tay Conti, despite not doing that much different, with the classic Lambert line, "Give Sky's rematch, or I send these two men into the ring to give you the kind of pounding your girlfriend dreams about." Oh, sex. Sammy agreed to a TNT title ladder match next week, but only if they get an intergender tag too. It's good that the heel-face dynamics have been aligned with the crowd reactions, but the last 2 months have felt like a major waste of the mid-card belt. Speaking of major wastes, the House of Black cut another promo on Fuego del Sol. The House of Black are much better than this. This has paused their momentum. Britt Baker made her first appearance since losing the women's title a month ago, receiving a huge hometown pop from Pittsburgh. She beat Danielle Camella in an Owen Hart qualifier and then cut a promo on the other tournament competitors. She was presented far more as a babyface without Rebel and Jamie Hayter accompanying her. Another stacked lineup was run down for next week, including Shida versus Serena Deeb in a Philadelphia street fight, and Cash Wheeler versus Dax Harwood in an Owen Hart qualifier. No FTR, I don't want to see you hurt each other. And the main event was the coffin match between Andrade and Darby Allin. In a smart heel use of the stipulation, Isaiah Cassidy and the Blade interfered right away, but Darby had his own plan. Someone standing up in the crowd to reveal themselves as Dadhausen. Sting brawled with the Stooges, no sold a chair to the back, and then did his new favourite spot, jumping off something high, doing a balcony dive on everyone. The remaining Andrade versus Darby portion in the ring was fun, but oddly lacked the heat of the rest of the show. Swole Jose tried to stop Darby closing the lid by taking off his top because of the aforementioned swollenness, but Darby threw him onto the tax and then went on to win. The Hardys then did the delete chants at the top of the ramp, which Jeff seemingly injured his own arm doing, possibly teasing a broken cinematic match between them all, allowing for more Sting involvement, and hopefully a weird flashback sequence where Sting is Surfer Sting. What did you think of AEW Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. This was a great episode of Wrestling TV with a varied blend of in-ring wrestling and 2 hugely newsworthy angles of Punk versus Page and the New Japan Super Show. This week's Dynamite is 89%. Pete spoke about the bots on social media at the start of this video, and coincidentally we're still getting Andy Datson comments on all our videos, so if you really like the guy, you'd tune into his monthly Thank QuizzleMania show today, which you can access by joining patreon.com/WrestleTalk, and also find out the real reason Kushida left WWE now.
In this WrestleTalk news, the real reason Kushida is gone from WWE, Johnny Gargano returned to the WWE Performance Center, Tempest review of NXT 2.0, and more.